Oh dear. So I'm going to be a little hard on you, but I think you need to hear this. Those aren't case studies that prove your point, and this is a great example of why the average person cannot do their own research. So you just posted a screenshot from ChatGPT. You didn't produce any case studies, and let's talk for a quick second about why case studies are really not relevant in this conversation anymore. So when you're evaluating evidence, it's really important to understand the levels of evidence pyramid, and there's different variations of this, but they're all kind of the same thing. The very bottom is just going to be background information and expert opinions, and then it goes on to case series and reports. Then it goes on case control studies, cohort studies, randomized controlled, and of course meta-analyses here at the top. So you are attempting to find information to prove a point, a belief that you already have, right? That there's toxins in breast implant capsules. This is a very dangerous way to do research. You are looking for the truth. You're not looking for something to support an idea you already have. And that's exactly what you've done here. Because if you would have actually looked at the data, you would have come across this paper right here. So a case report just looks at one person's experience. Here is a patient that has a problem. Look what I found. A series, of course, is just a series of patients with that problem. Look what I found. This is not what you see here. So this is a prospective blinded study where they looked at 3 different groups of patients, because what's more powerful than just looking at a person with a problem, let's compare them to people that don't have that problem. If we find something in a group that has a problem and the same thing is present in people without that problem, then that thing probably isn't the reason. And that's what this paper showed. So in this paper, they looked at heavy metal levels in capsules, and they compared women with BII symptoms and women without, as well as women who have never had implants. And they found no difference, essentially. So no, your case report, whatever ChatGPT told you, isn't something that will counter this. This is a more powerful piece of evidence. You also have on there gel bleed. So gel bleed only happens with silicone implants, right? Lots of women with BII have saline implants where gel bleed is not an issue. So clearly, just logically, that cannot be the cause of symptoms from breast implants. So when experts evaluate a problem in medicine, we don't do what you just did. We don't go to ChatGPT looking for something to reinforce beliefs we already had. That's just not what we do. So if you had actually looked at the research, if you had actually read some of these papers, you would see that nothing in that ChatGPT screenshot explains why patients have symptoms or gives us any reason to remove a capsule. Because in that same series of papers where the paper that I posted came from, they also showed that women were just as likely to get better with implant removal if they left the capsule behind. You are a fantastic example of why misinformation on the internet is dangerous, because you have fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and you spreading this information, even though we have good studies showing you're just objectively wrong, harms women, because other women see this and they believe you because they also don't have the science literacy required to understand any of these studies. If you care about people getting good care, if you care about women, you'll stop doing this. Stop it, because you're not helping people, you're spreading wrong information, and you don't understand how to evaluate the information. And again, I'm being a little hard on you because this crap has to stop. I see too many patients in my office who were scammed by people who spread this misinformation and are harmed by it. It's not a benign thing. It's not that a good doctor doesn't cause harm and a bad doctor does. That's not how this works. And I would argue that any doctor who is telling patients the things that you think is a bad doctor, because they're practicing beneath the standard of care and they're practicing out of what we know from published literature.